Hello.
Hey.
Welcome. Hello everyone and welcome to Junubia. My name is Dilmar and I'll be your host for today. I have a guest who I'll introduce very shortly. But before I go ahead and introduce her, I just want to say that song was by Nya JJ and Jangle Boyz. So those two are big or huge fans or supporters of Junubia. So shout out to those two musicians. We appreciate your music. I have and obviously the songs I'll play on tonight's program are not we don't own any of these songs. So just to say that. Yeah, my guest tonight is Nyabana. Sorry, just had to fix this a little bit. Nyabana is the co-founder of the Black Strong Woman, which is a Facebook page aimed at starting the conversation at society's depiction of the Black Strong Woman. Today we'll chat about that. What is a Black Strong Woman and what it means to be a Black Strong Woman. So welcome Nyabana to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, Dietmar. Thank you for inviting me to your show today. I'm very honored to be here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I'm glad you're here with us today. So Nyabana is very passionate about advocacy for youth empowerment. She's passionate about bettering her community, and that's why she started working with the youth. She believes that young people need a sense of guidance and support to help them grow into the leaders of tomorrow. Nyabana is also passionate about giving a voice to the voiceless because she has been through many life experiences or lived experiences where she felt voiceless. herself. Nyabana is also passionate or loves to speak about or advocate for the overall health and issues of the Black woman. Nyabana is a survivor of domestic violence, and she has now become an advocate to help give someone a voice and a sense of hope to those who experience domestic violence, domestic and family violence. Um, yeah, I would just like, before I go ahead, I would like to apologize for starting late. We've had a bit of difficulties, technical difficulties, and a bit of yeah,
It's
issues.
always the technical difficulties, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? But we're here now. We appreciate all the fans and supporters of Junubia.
Yeah.
Share the videos, guys. Share the video with your family and friends so they can also benefit from this conversation. I'm sure you will all enjoy Yabana's company. I do most of the time. So let's dive into it, Nyabana. When was the strong Black woman established and why?
The strong Black woman was it was born this year. Um, it was created this year by myself and Yamal, and I would say the inspiration behind it was, I guess, all the experiences, all the harsh experiences that we have experienced. Mostly, I'm going to speak for myself. I have
Mm,
gone through so many experiences where my pain was invisible, and where
mm,
I felt like I had to be a strong woman. I didn't, you know, I didn't have to like go seek professional help or like call out or even complain that I'm in pain or anything like that. I've just experienced so many things, and I also have a friend named Yamal who has also we met at a different show, and she also has the same life experiences as me, and we're just like, why don't we just create this safe platform to have healthy conversations about what the like what the strong Black woman is, or
mm,
the narrative that was written for us. Just
yeah,
discuss just the overall health of the strong Black invisible woman.
mm. Yeah. So that was this year. Um,
Yep, this year.
yep. So society depicts the Black woman as angry. Do you think her anger is justified?
Yes, I believe her anger is justified, especially when society puts this pressure on us, or even like our communities put this pressure on us that we have to be strong and nothing but strong.
Mm,
Like we can't complain about what we're experiencing, whether it be like, you know, domestic violence or something else that we're experiencing in our personal life, you know?
mm,
And we're
yeah.
just and society has put this image on a Black woman as not human, and I guess we can't blame it on society itself as well. We have to also take ownership. I take accountability and ownership as a Black woman because I contributed to that as well,
Mm,
because I kind of held onto the image that I'm strong, then therefore I'm not a human, then I'm going with what the society has given me.
yeah. Um, which is not always the case. I
No.
think being strong just because you're a Black woman or we're Black is a huge misconception, and it's such a cliche, when you hear people say, you can do this, you're strong. Sometimes you don't want to be strong, right? Sometimes
No.
you want to be vulnerable, you want to show weakness, you want help. But so because she's Black and she's strong, people say she shouldn't show vulnerability or weakness, as I was just saying. What is your perspective on this misconception?
Well, I believe that we're all human. a black woman is a human. She's a human woman, just like any other woman, you know, just like any other
Mm,
woman in the world. And
yeah,
that's 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 just not, it's actually not true. We should be fighting this, like that we are human. We should be vulnerable. We should be able to, express how we're feeling. If we're not feeling okay, we should be able to say that we're not feeling okay. We shouldn't be going with what this society has told us for so long, or what our community has told us for so long, that we should be nothing but strong.
yeah. So, um, but we do have to be strong sometimes. You have to say that, especially being single parents. In our community, a lot of the mothers are single moms, right? And if you're not strong, then you won't be able to survive, not just for yourself. But I guess the
But
narrative that this, mm,
I also think, yes, we do have to be strong, but there's a different strength.
mm,
There's a strong of, like, the way like our mothers showed us that they were strong. They showed us that they were strong by not saying that, they were going through pain. They showed us they were strong by not complaining about stuff. They showed us being strong means, like, not being vulnerable, not
mm,
not not expressing what is happening with you, which I think it's so unhealthy. Me
yeah,
growing up as a young girl, I saw a lot of women around me that show strength, but it wasn't in a healthy way. I truly
yeah,
believe, like what you said, we are, you know, like, we're single parents, yes, we have to be strong. And I get that. I want to show a good way of being strong. There's a good way of being strong. I can also show my kids that, you know what, yes, mommy's strong. Mommy will get through this tough day and whatnot. But
mm,
I also want to be I also want to be able to be vulnerable in front of my kids. Say, yes, mom has gone through this, but you know what? I have persevered, and I have gotten through this journey, and now I'm okay. Not act like I'm strong and nothing bothers me, and I'm not a human. That's the narrative that we're trying to change now.
mm, yeah.
So I do agree with you. Yes, we have to be strong, but strong in a healthy way.
Okay, good. That I like that, better and strong in a healthy way, because I was going to ask what you mean by good strong. So that's a better term. So the narrative that the strong black woman is expected to endure unimaginable pain and extreme suffering and it still be okay. From your experience, as I've mentioned before, you are a survivor of domestic violence. Um, so from your experience, what are the psychological and emotional strains of trying to live up to the conception that Black women are strong and we inherently strong, basically? Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. To be honest, black women, we're human. And I think that's what we're trying to say, that we are human, just like any other woman. I'm I'm sorry that we put on a facade. I'm sorry that our mothers and our their mothers have put on a facade that we're strong, that we're not vulnerable and all that side. I'm sorry for that. But that all has to die out. That narrative has to really die out.
Mm,
We are human, okay? We are human. And when you act so strong all the time, there is so much that you go through, like, mentally. And when you act strong all the time, you don't want to go seek professional help. So you don't want to go
mm,
seek professional help from a counselor, or you don't even want to talk to your friends about stuff, because your friends are looking up to you. They're like, oh, oh, Titmar is being strong, Nyaban is being strong, so therefore I don't need to complain about that mental health that I'm going, that mental health situation that I'm going through.
Yeah.
We need to change that, that narrative that was written for us, because it wasn't, we were not born that way. We were not born as in, God did not create us just to be strong and was like, okay, you guys, this group of Black women, you guys are going to be strong and nothing but strong, you guys will not feel anything, and whatever you endure, you have to endure it, and you don't have to complain. So yes, there is a lot of psychological harm that comes with being strong all the time. You literally do not look after your mental health, and that it's a myth, and that narrative has to really, it really has to die out. And like, when we talk and we have this conversation, slowly people will know that we are Black women, and we are humans, and we have feelings, and we go through mental health problems, we go through domestic violence, where like we're raising kids, we go through all these dramas that every other woman goes through.
Yeah.
So
So for you, in terms of
yeah.
your experience, how did that affect you emotionally
Oh,
or
emotionally, it affected
psychologically?
me. It
Mm.
affected me. It affected me psychologically, because I was quiet. I was quiet about everything that I went through, whether it was me, like at the time when I was going through my domestic violence situation. Like, I didn't tell a soul. I went through that experience for 10 years, and I did not tell anyone,
Oh.
whether it was like my friends or family, even close people. Nobody knew until it got to a very dangerous stage.
So
So
how did you
yeah,
cope? It must have been a very difficult time for you to go through that alone.
I coped with it by saying, "Oh, I'm strong." Just like what I saw
Yeah.
growing up.
Mm.
Just like what I saw growing up, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a healthy way of being strong and an unhealthy way of being strong. What I saw as a young girl was an unhealthy way of being strong. What
Mm.
I am today and what I chose to be this year, well, is a healthy way of being strong. And I am
What is
strong.
that?
I okay.
Sorry
I
to
could I
interrupt
could
you,
have
but
No, that's
mm,
okay. I could have a bad day, okay? I could have
mm,
a bad day, say at work, or I could have a bad day with my kids. Do you know what I do? I once my kids go to bed, I just have time to myself. I do the
mm,
things that I like. If I need to, I see a therapist. Let's normalize that too, because we are
yeah,
human. I go see my
yeah,
therapist. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I go see my
definitely.
therapist if I need to go see her. She's my best friend now. So
Yeah.
now I know to look after myself, not
Mm,
to neglect myself. So I'm being strong in a healthy way, a way where my daughter can see it and be like, okay, I want to be like my mom, and I will be happily for my daughter to say that. So yeah,
yeah. So self-care, right?
self
One of the ways.
self care, take care of your mental health. Just
Mm,
look after yourself, your overall health. Because if you're not looking after yourself and trying to look after everyone, you will have a burnout. And trust me,
mm,
that happened to me. I was
mm,
like too busy trying to look after everybody, but I did not look after the number one person, which was me.
mm. And that's what society expects of you, to look after everyone else but you. Whether
At
you
that
need to
time.
see
But
your
when I woke up this year, I was like, nope, I'm looking after me first.
yeah, a wonderful, amazing decision. I'm glad you took that decision, and I hope other Black women do that as well. Research proves that the belief among many Black women strong to be strong and nothing but strong discourages many women from seeking mental health counseling. Right, we've just mentioned that. Did you experience this? I think you've just mentioned that you said you cope by saying I'm strong. So I was going to, the question was, did you experience this? Did you tell yourself I'm strong, I can do this, or did you try and seek professional assistance?
Oh, I did what I saw growing up.
Mm,
and
yeah.
and just push everything down, push everything under the
Mm,
rug. I'll be
mm,
okay. I'll
mm,
be okay. Okay, I'm going through this bad situation. Oh, I don't need to go talk to my friends. I'll be okay. And if I go talk
yeah.
to my friends, it shows a sense of weakness, and that's what I thought. If I
mm,
go, to seek professional help, which is counseling, or even
mm,
go to talk to a doctor about, you know, the situation that I was going through, that means I was showing a sense of weakness
yeah,
at that
mm,
time when I thought in a very unhealthy way.
mm,
So
mm,
yes, it it affected my mental health, and it did affect the way I perceived everything and looked at everything.
yeah. Or even we have this thing in our community where if I share my problems with you, then or vice versa, then there is a concern that you're going to share that with your friend, gossiping,
Definitely.
or
So
your fam.
there's no sense of safe space.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
And I get it, like, especially if you don't like, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The way I started looking at it, I'm gonna make sensible friendships, I'm gonna build good friendships. And if I tell
Mm,
my friend something, and then if my friend goes and shares that, that has nothing to do with me. It has a lot to
mm,
do with them. It shows
mm,
that maybe they have a problem. Maybe they're going
mm,
through the same situation.
yeah,
Because we
yeah.
have this thing where we like to, I don't know, we like to pretend that everything is perfect. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know if you grew
It's
up
true.
I don't know if you grew up like that, but I grew up in an environment where, like, let's act and let's pretend everything is perfect.
Mm,
We're
mm,
human beings. No one's
yeah,
perfect. Like,
yeah.
nobody's perfect.
Hmm.
We're just
Exactly.
imperfect humans we're just trying every day. I'm trying.
Hmm.
I'm just a human being I'm trying, even right now that I'm talking to you. I'm being vulnerable and I'm trying my best to answer all your questions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like we have this sense of perfectionist, everything has to be okay. And let's brush
Mm,
everything under the rug. And then later
yeah,
when we have all these problems, then people kind of go in sheer panic and they're like, oh,
mm,
what's going on?
yeah. When we did not address the root causes of the issues.
Exactly.
Um, yep, I'll come to your questions shortly, guys. I see there are a few questions. Last question about the Black strong woman. Um, so we just discussing here. We just having a conversation. If anyone wants to find out more about what Nyabana, as being the co-founder of this group or platform, do, or anything you want to find out about this platform, I think I put the link on the caption. So go to the page and find and read more. Last question is about research and stuff. So research shows that abuse can lead to mental illness and toxic cycles. From your experience, how did you protect your children and what strategies did you put in place to ensure that they are not impacted by what you went through, especially you being the primary carer or the primary caregiver of your children?
Well, the first thing I did was remove myself from the situation, obviously. Just start afresh, started a new life. Remove my kids away from that. I seeked professional help for my kids. Take kids to
Mm,
counseling.
mm,
Kids. Sometimes when kids witness things like that, it's very hard for them to comprehend. Sometimes as
yeah,
adults, even when we go through things, it's very hard
yeah,
for us to comprehend. So imagine for kids when they witness,
mm,
even if it's a little situation, and if they witness like an argument between, mom and dad, or even if it gets physical, it's very hard for them to comprehend it. So
mm,
I took my kids to get professional help, obviously,
mm,
and for them to talk about the things that they may have seen, the arguments that they may have heard between me and their father. So yeah.
yeah,
And obviously I've also had healthy conversations with them, like how to, how to respect one another and kind of try to recorrect the behaviors that they may have seen, like between both of, like, their father and I.
Mm, yeah. I think a lot of people would be shocked hearing you saying take kids to counseling because there is a stigma with, us as adults going to counseling, leave alone children. So that's a very good point that you brought up here, and have these healthy conversations as well. In Africa, we don't do that, right? We don't talk to kids about these heavy topics, but in here, it's very important. Yeah. We're gonna have a quick break. We'll just go to a song and come back quickly to you guys. All right, I will stop the song. There is I'm not sure if, I think it's a statement from Sidonia J that said that I understand, but that is not the real definition of being a strong woman, in my opinion. Um,
I can
Sidonia,
answer
okay, go ahead.
that. well, well, that's why we created our platform, is to tell people there is no actual there's no actual definition. There's no such thing as a strong woman. This narrative that they put on us, we don't want it. That's why we've created that page, to tell people that, you know what, we're just normal women like any other woman. We go through problems just like any other woman. We give birth just like any other woman. We feel pain just like any other woman. We're not made of steel. We're just human. We're just vulnerable. That's
No.
when we call that page the strong black woman. It's not saying that yes, we are strong. It's us trying to say that no, we're just women. We're just black women who go through the same thing as any other woman. But so we're trying to actually fight what society has put on us, the narrative that the society has put on us. There
Yeah,
is no such thing as the strong black black woman. There is just a black woman who goes through so many things, just like
yeah.
any other woman.
So, yeah. Um, Maybe if you can share with us, because she did say, in my opinion, everyone's
Yeah, yeah,
opinions are valid. So
yeah.
if Sidonia would like to share her opinion about the strong black woman, feel free. Or if you would like to join us, also feel free. Once I'm done with Nyabana, you can definitely join me. Um, Nyabana, I just want you to kind of briefly discuss, or share with the viewers. When you started the group, it was the invisible strong black woman, right?
Yeah.
Then you changed it to the strong black woman. Why did you do that?
Because
Why did you
we
remove
changed.
the word invisible? I guess that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So when we created the page, we called it the invisible strong black woman. So
Yeah.
we removed the word. We added the word invisible because our pain was invisible. Our pain was invisible to the community. Our pain was invisible when it came to the law. Our pain was invisible when it came to the community. Our pain was invisible when it came to some of our family members as well, because
Mm.
society has, or community has, a way of brushing a Black woman's pain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we called it the invisible Black woman, because our pain was invisible. We now we removed the word invisible because our pain is no longer invisible. Our pain is no longer invisible. Our pain is out there. We have a voice. We can express ourselves. We can express our pain. We can say that this happened to us and this happened to us, and we can actually stand up for ourselves, and we have the courage and we are bold to say that something has happened to us, and we have so much courage to not only stand up towards the people that have done us wrong, but also to the criminal justice system that tells us that we can't express ourselves in a certain way, to some of the certain members of the community that tell us that we cannot express ourselves in a certain way because we are, women or whatever. Now that we can, express ourselves in a healthy way, and we have the courage, then we are no longer invisible. Our pain is no longer invisible. We are the strong Black women. I hope that explained it all.
Wonderful. I agree with you, and I think having conversations like this is also part of this because a lot of, especially the men, they praise the word strong, strong, strong. And there's a comment from a viewer as well who said, Black women are stronger than any women of the other race. Keep the vibe. Yeah, so that's what we're kind of fighting against. We don't want to be strong. We don't want to be known as just strong women. We want to be known as women who go through pain, and we should be able, not be able, but we should feel, when we feel vulnerable, we should express it, we should share it, we should seek assistance in any way that is good for us. um, Domestic violence is a very heavy topic, um, you know, but I think we can try and make it light.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to bore you guys, especially those in Melbourne and we're in lockdown. Mm, let's keep it light
Oh,
and
I feel sorry for you guys.
yeah,
You guys will get
let's
through
move
it. You guys
on.
can persevere through this.
Yeah, sure. So, briefly, Nyabana, can you share with us your journey to recovery and healing? I'm just going to jump it straight to that because I think we've touched on your experience of domestic violence throughout this show. I just want you to share your recovery and healing journey.
Well, I've already healed. I've already gone through the journey of being a victim of a domestic and family violence, and oh, the journey. It was long.
Mm, mm,
It was
yeah.
very long. There were days where to be honest, there were days where I just didn't even want to be in this world. When I was going through that journey, there were days I just didn't want to, there were days I'm just like, just don't want to wake up today.
Mm,
The world would be, a better place without me if I wasn't here. Because
that's sad.
sometimes when you go through such experiences, it's very hard to comprehend. It's very hard to
Mm,
comprehend that, someone that you love, with all your heart can actually cause that much pain to you. It's very
mm,
hard, like mentally, it literally
mm,
it weighs you down. It weighs you
mm,
down. You have to find so much courage from deep, deep within to continue
mm,
fighting, and to continue making it to the next day.
mm,
So the journey was very dark. Like when I when I share my journey of like getting out of that, the recovering and the healing, I don't sugarcoat it because I don't want to paint this picture of, oh, a Black woman has gone through domestic and family violence, you just wake up the next day and you bounce back. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very long journey. It's very, very dark because you're trying to comprehend everything. Day by day, you're trying to comprehend everything. And
Yeah.
it literally messes with your mental health. I went through PTSD. Like I suffered badly. Like
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't sleep. There were days I couldn't sleep. I lost like my appetite for food. So
Yeah.
I would go days without eating. And
Mm-hmm.
that would just be that was normal for me because that was just my body trying to cope with everything that I just went
Yeah.
through. And
Yeah.
it was my body was trying to deal with like it was a long time. I went through I went through domestic violence for 10 years. So it was trying to deal with all those years and me coming to a conclusion like, oh my goodness, like I actually experienced this. And then I went through the PTSD and then the anger too. Oh,
Mm.
the anger.
Yeah.
The anger hits badly because
Yeah.
you literally become this angry. You become this angry black woman. And I had this anger within me because I'm like, how is it fair that I had to experience that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
My sin was to only love somebody. That was literally my
Mm.
sin. And my and the other thing that I did was to leave someone when I felt like someone was harming me.
Mm.
So that was the only thing the only other thing that I did. So because and then you're literally battling with all this. I was battling with all these voices in my head, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, what did I do? So I'm one of those people when something happens, I'll always point finger back at myself before I point fingers at anybody. So
Yeah.
half of the time when I was going through that recovering journey, I was blaming myself as well. So I was blaming myself for everything that I went through. I was blaming myself why I didn't speak, why I didn't say anything faster, Why I didn't
Yeah.
say it like why didn't I say that I was going through domestic violence 5 years before? Or why didn't I
Yeah.
do it way earlier, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, like my pain would have been easier, but you know what? I just I had to come to a conclusion and be like, the way it happened, it had to just happen because
Mm.
the person that I am today, the woman that I am today, the person that's talking over here
Mm.
is a different woman, is a woman that was born in pain. She's not like the old Nyabana would not be sitting here talking and expressing herself the way she's expressing herself
Mm.
like this.
Yeah.
So within that pain, yes, within that pain, within me being through that dark time, a new me was born. So amongst all of that pain, I I literally, I don't know, just a new me was born. I don't know how to express it, but a new me was born.
Yeah. Sure.
Going to counseling was literally the best gift I gave myself. And I've healed, I've healed like since like it's been a year, a year and a half, nearly 2 years of healing. And I still see my therapist. I recommend
Mm.
counseling. Women, go get counseling.
Yes,
It's good for you.
definitely.
It's
I
literally good for
agree.
you. It's good for
Yes.
you. Because if you're happy, then everybody else is happy at the house, There's no point in walking around and if you're not looking after yourself. And that's what I
And
mean when I
you can
say,
be a better
yeah,
mother, a better wife, a better friend, right? You can be better not just to yourself, but to everyone else around you. Um,
definitely. Definitely,
yeah,
I completely agree, and that's why,
yeah,
like, yes, the journey was long, it was tough, it was dark, but you know what? I got out of it. A new me was born. I went to counseling. I'm a I'm a happier, healthy me.
Yes.
And I can show up as a friend, I could show up as a mother, I could show up as a sister, as a friend to every day.
Yes, definitely. I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, I'll just read a few comments.
Yeah, go for it.
Aja Deng said you are both highlighting very important issues. Keep it up. Um, Sidonia, I don't know if you've commented with your opinion about the strong black woman, if or if you'd like to join me. Um, Nyakang said I saw a comment before. She's at work, but she's watching. I'm listening. I'm at work. Thanks for joining us, Nyakang. Who else? Any other statements, comments, or questions? No. Um, yeah. Prince Deng said the issues concerning South Sudanese women can be remedied through. Sorry, that's a long comment. Is there a question? No, it's not a question. I'll have to read that later. Um, um, the last question for you, Nyabana, is what is your message for women who experience domestic and family violence?
Leave. Leave, literally. Like, there's the longer you leave it, the longer you live in that, the longer you live in that mess. I'm just gonna call it mess. It's a hot mess. The
Mm,
longer you live in that hot mess, the longer you're prolonging your pain. So you're you're extending your pain. You're extending
mm,
your pain for something even worse. Do not wait. Do not wait for the last thing to happen, like where somebody tries to take away your life.
mm,
Leave.
mm, mm,
Abusers do not change just one day. They will promise you everything. They will literally promise you the world. But that majority, yes, I believe some people can change. But however, if you've experienced, or you are experiencing that amount of violence, or that, or even if you see, like, flags of, somebody being abusive, or, like, even intimidating you, that's a red flag. If someone's swearing at you, if someone's intimidating you, if someone's threatening you, or threatening your kids, or even trying to harm you or your children, that's violent. That's straight up
mm.
violent. That's
Yeah,
domestic violence.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't actually know the term. We don't know the term domestic violence. Me,
Mm,
the person that's talking here, I might sound like an expert of domestic violence. 10 years ago, could I name what I was going through? I couldn't name it. I
mm,
couldn't identify it. I didn't know what it was. I just thought, oh, I'm a South Sudanese woman. I'm supposed to endure this. My husband or my partner is supposed to do such and such to me, and I'm supposed to be quiet about it. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
I'm
Yeah.
supposed to take it in, and I'm supposed to, just be quiet and be a good wife. And a good wife does not go and put out her home stuff out.
Mm,
But if you keep your home stuff that is so dark, like that, stuff that is hurting you, stuff that is
mm,
hurting your children, that behavior escalates, and soon your life will be threatened. Your life will be threatened, and people die. People die from domestic violence. People die from domestic violence. When when I found out that I when I found out that I was a survivor of domestic violence, or I was a victim of domestic violence, I actually got really mad, because I'm like, what are these white people talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not a survivor of domestic violence. I'm not a victim of
mm,
domestic violence. What is domestic violence? What do you mean? I was just living,
mm,
a normal life. Yes,
mm,
yes, my ex-partner was troubled a little bit, but you know what I mean? That's how it is, or that's how we are. Do you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
just that's just the way we live. That was normal.
Mm,
But when I looked into it, and when I actually, educated myself, and I actually went and read about red flags and all that stuff, I was like, oh my goodness, all the red flags were hitting me right in my face. but I didn't see them. I didn't see them. I didn't even know what they were. But if anyone is experiencing domestic violence, my sister, leave. It doesn't get any
Mm.
better. Trust me, it does not get any better from there. And they abusers they don't start abusing you straight away. This is this is this
Mm.
is we're not going to go deep into domestic violence, but I'm going to give you guys a hint. Abusers do not start abusing you straight away. They will love bomb you like there's no other. They will
Mm.
love you like you're the best thing in this whole universe. Once that love bombing and honeymoon stage is finished, then they will see how much they can get away with. They will start by, like, intimidating you slowly, tell you what to
Mm.
wear, what not to wear, who to talk to, who not to talk to, what to do, what not to do. And then slowly, slowly, they'll make their way to intimidating you, slowly, slowly make their way to slapping you. Next minute is something way dangerous. And if you wait, the longer
Until
you
they
wait,
kill you, hey?
yes,
Mm.
until they kill you. And it's serious. Kill you. Like,
Mm.
it it's it's disgusting. Just please, like, if you're experiencing this, and do not ever stay in in an unhealthy relationship because of your kids, because we have this thing in the South Sudanese community. Me, I was that hypocrite. I'm going to say it. I was that hypocrite.
Mm.
Oh, I'm going to stay because of my kids. Do you know what you're exposing your children to? Do you know what mental health, like how you're ruining your children's mental health? Do you know what you're doing to your kids?
Mm. Yeah.
We say, oh, we're staying because of the kids. Sooner or later, you have 6 children with this person. You're still staying with because of your kids. So those four
Mm.
other were already ruined. Their mental health was already ruined, and now you added more children to it, and now their mental health is ruined because they're seeing the same problems every day. They're seeing two unhealthy parents go at it every day. It's not healthy
Yeah.
for children. If we're trying to
Yeah.
raise healthy children that will contribute to society, we need to be able to recognize that there's an unhealthy environment. There's nothing wrong going to, you know, if you're in an unhealthy environment, there's nothing wrong going away and actually raising kids in a healthy environment. I'm a big believer in raising kids, in two-parent home. And that's why I had that idea, like, I'm gonna stay because, I want their father in their life and blah blah blah. But it was unhealthy. It got extremely
Mm.
unhealthy where my life was
Yeah.
threatened. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't gonna be
Yeah.
here just because I'm saying I wasn't gonna be here for my kids. Today I wasn't
Mm.
gonna even be here talking as I'm talking right now because I kept
Um,
extending
uh,
it, saying that, oh, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna stay because of my children. I'm gonna stay because,
yeah.
I don't want the kids to not have a father, blah blah blah. Yes,
Yeah.
I truly believe that kids do need to grow up in a two-parent home, and it is healthier for kids to grow up in a two-parent home
Mm.
financially, in every aspect. It is healthy for kids to grow up in a two-parent home. But it is not healthy for kids to grow up in a very unhealthy situation. Two parent home where people are just always at it, people are always fighting, people are always
Mm.
showing violence. That's not healthy. You're gonna
Mm.
you're gonna grow you're gonna raise children that will, you know, they will not follow any authority. They will not have anything inside of them. They will not have any love inside of them. They'll
Yeah.
be empty children because you guys are too busy fighting every day. He's right, you're right, he's right, you're right, and then at the end, there's no solution. And then
Yeah.
we're out here raising an empty community, a community
Mm.
that does not look out for their children, and their woman is not a community. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
if anyone who's going, like, through domestic and family violence, please leave.
Mm.
Leave. Go and start again. Go seek help. Go live a healthy
Mm.
life for yourself. If not for yourself, do it for your children, because
Yeah.
your children will thank you later. Your kids will
Yeah.
say later, thank you. Thank you, mom. You know, thank you, mom, for
Mm,
removing us from that situation. We are happy. Oh, mom, we love you.
mm,
My kids, the way they express themselves, the way
mm,
that they articulate themselves, the way they speak, because they're healthy children, because they can see I'm
mm.
healthy, therefore, what? They are healthy as well.
Yes,
And later, you
yes,
know, if they turn out to be anything that they want to be, if they don't turn out to, you know, contribute to society, or they don't do anything, it's not my fault, because I removed myself
mm,
from that situation and I started
mm,
a healthy life, and I'm trying to, you know, reteach them from all those negative stuff that they've seen, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, so just, you
yeah.
know, go and start healthy. Do not stay in a
I'm
situation
so
like that.
glad. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad. I think I was enjoying that so much that I just wanted you to keep going. Um, it's always, they say, it's always good to hear someone speak from their experience, and this is the best teacher. There are comments here. I would like to read a few before we
Yeah,
conclude
go ahead.
today's program. Prince Deng said, oops, Somalian women have women empowerment organizations, and through those organizations, they are able to support women who go through abuse or maybe having some mental health. True, true. We have organizations in our community too, but it depends on the individual, obviously. But I think one of the most important things is having people like Nyabana experience, talk about her experience, being an advocate of violence and abuse and the importance of raising healthy children. Everything that you just said, it summed up. You have no idea how much I benefited.
And
I hope the viewers have too.
can I say the reason why I'm so like I became like an advocate and I'm so vocal about my experience. It's because I know there's a lot of sisters who are still sleeping
Mm, mm,
through the same experiences that I've gone through. There are still people that still think that, oh, the community thinks that I'm a good, perfect wife, then I should continue or keep enduring pain. I decided to become an advocate and share my story, not because I want people to feel sorry for me. I've already been through that. I cried myself to sleep. I wake up, I cried. I lick my own wounds by myself. But I
mm,
just do it. I advocate because I want somebody else to, see me sharing my journey, and they can resonate with that. And they can
mm,
say, you know what? I can resonate with her story. This situation, this unhealthy situation that I'm living in, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it for myself, and I'm going to change it for my kids. So we can so we can live in a healthy environment, in a healthy situation, because you know what? We all deserve to live in a healthy environment. We all deserve to live a happy life. We're
mm,
all human. We were created to thrive in this world, to thrive and live in this world and be happy. Yes, happiness is a feeling that comes and goes, but it doesn't mean that we should endure pain just because of community expectation, or because, oh, the community has this thing where they there's a stigma behind domestic violence. We shouldn't do that
mm.
just because of
Yeah,
that. And that's
yeah.
that's what that's one of the reasons why I became an advocate.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm so glad you're very vocal about your experience. There is also a stigma about, yeah, as you said, sharing your story. This is your home um, business, and people talk about people who advocate, but people benefit from people like you. Whatever you went through will benefit someone else, and hopefully this will prevent another woman from going through domestic violence. Ajadeng just said, I think this has been uh, mentioned in what she just said. How can a person identify they are in an emotional abusive relationship, and how can they get out of such a situation? Did you want to briefly highlight that again, Yabana?
She said, how could someone, sorry, repeat that again?
Um, just go back. How can
Something about
someone
emotional abuse?
identify? Yeah, how can they identify they're in an emotional abusive relationship, and how can they get out of such situations?
Well, if someone is repetitively like verbally hurting you and putting you down every day, then that's a very unhealthy situation. Very unhealthy,
Mm, mm,
and um an equal relationship where two people are allowed to, express themselves however they want to express themselves. They wouldn't be such behaviors. They would not be like a person will not be verbal to you. And the the signs are, if somebody is putting you down, put downs should not be happening in a healthy relationship. If we're not joking around about something, and if it's not a joke, and if it's a continuous put down, if it's a if someone is literally belittling you all the time, then that's not healthy,
mm,
because it's no joke to emotionally hurt someone. And emotional abuse, emotional and psychological abuse, is the worst form of abuse.
mm. Yeah.
As a person that has gone through domestic and family violence, sometimes I would say physical abuse is better. It I
Mm,
know I sound absurd, but let me say it. When somebody
mm,
punches you, those wounds will heal really quick. But when somebody calls you useless every day, when someone says you're a
mm,
worst mother every day, when someone says you're nothing, when someone says you're stupid, when someone says you're nothing every day, when someone says you're worthless every day, that sticks with you. That sticks inside of you. That's very, very hard to take away. It takes way longer than somebody actually, punching you or slapping you. That can heal within like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But emotional and psychological abuse is the worst form of abuse, I would say, because that's something that you can't explain. You can't even call the police and be like, "Oh, hi, officer, I'm being emotionally abused or I'm being psychologically abused." What evidence do you have?
mm.
What
Yeah.
evidence do you have? There's no evidence. It's just the same thing that somebody's saying to you every day, and you can't. There's no proof.
Yeah.
But if someone's belittling you or like verbally, abusing you all the time, then that's emotional abuse.
Yeah. So the other part of the question was, how can someone get out of abusive relationship? So what are your tips for someone in an abusive relationship?
Ooh. Um, it's very
Like,
hard
how
to
can
get
they
out
get
of.
out, right? Mm,
It's very hard to get out of a abusive relationship because your abuser is too comfortable. Your abuser
mm,
does not want you to go anywhere. They're too comfortable abusing you for all those years. So, and sometimes I always say, when someone's benefiting from something, why would they want to stop that thing?
mm, mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm benefiting from, say, if I'm benefiting from an organization, if I'm always benefiting from that organization, I don't care how that organization is. I don't care how they're doing. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care about their feelings. I don't care about anything. But if I'm benefiting from them financially, if I'm benefiting from them in every way, why would I want to change it? It's
Mm,
just like an abuser. An
yeah.
abuser has benefited from you for so long. So they would not
Mm,
want you to leave that situation. They would not want you to just automatically one day and be like, "Oh, you know what? I want a healthy life now. Maybe I would like a healthy husband who would love me every day, kiss me,
mm,
praise me, say I'm a great woman, say I'm a wonderful woman."
mm,
They don't want
yeah.
that because they're used to that. So you
Mm,
have to be very like the most dangerous stage of domestic and family violence is the stage when you say you want to leave. That leaving bit, and people do not understand. That's when your abuser actually gets really mad because you finally made that decision and you made it in your mind that you're leaving, and now you're making those moves to leave. So they
So,
get
but how,
they get really
sorry to
angry.
cut you. Yeah, Nyabana, how do you get to the point of saying I want to leave? Because you said it's very hard. It takes a lot of courage, right? For you to get to
Yeah.
that stage of deciding that you're going to leave. So to bring it back, let's bring it back to you. How did you, what are the steps you took before you made that decision that I'm leaving?
Well, like I'm saying, it's very hard to leave that situation.
Mm,
And before you get to that, before you get to that stage of saying that you want to leave, you're gonna go. There's so many things that will happen. Of course, you have to
mm,
like you have to be very careful. And when I'm
mm,
saying when I'm mentioning the abuser bit, I'm mentioning it for a reason because that's when your life is at risk.
yeah,
The stage when you say you want to leave, that's when your life is at risk, and that's why I mentioned the abuser bit. I'm not mentioning it for no reason. When you
mm,
mention the abuse a bit, it's that's when your life is really at risk because they don't want you to
mm,
leave. So at that stage, you go literally go call like 1-800 respect. They will literally um they will help you. They will help you get like you know seek somewhere to go and a refuge. They will get you a refuge
yeah,
where you could go if you don't have family help, or go
yeah,
to your family. Get
mm,
seek family support.
mm. And be open, I guess, before, you know, to your family. One question from Nya JJ. She said there is a lot of stigma around domestic violence in our community too. So
Hmm.
often women feel stuck in their marriages and sometimes don't seek help. That's very true.
That's
Very
true.
true.
I agree with.
And I think the stigma, as long as the stigma there, people will feel stuck. People will stay and won't, leave.
Well, that's why we're trying to change
Um,
the stigma. That's why we're having this conversation.
mm, yeah. So, Catherine Denk said victims of domestic and family violence may sustain long-term harm to their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Definitely,
True.
definitely. I'm sure. Catherine again said, good to empower other women to look after their well-being. Being domestic violence is real crisis. True, very articulate answer. Thank you. To you, Nyabana. She's saying that to you, Aja. You're
Oh, thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, I think we've reached the end of today's program. Nyabana, do you have any last words before we conclude?
No, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. And thank you for always, supporting other sisters. I really, you know what I like about you is you support your other sisters. In every video that we've done, you're always there, in the comment section, you're commenting and you're liking our stuff. That's what woman empowerment is all about. Like I love it. So thank
Mm,
you so much. Thank you for being a sister that, let's just support one another and empower one another
yes,
to just do great,
yes.
as South
Mm,
Sudanese women. We
definitely,
got this.
definitely. Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank you for
being here.
inviting me. Thank you guys for
Sure.
listening.
Yeah, thank you for being here. For Nyabana had a long day at work, guys, and it's been hectic, and this is what we have to do. She came from work and we were late, but she still insisted that we go ahead. So I appreciate the persistence and wanting to. Yeah, she's definitely an inspiration. See,
Well,
that's
thank you
what
guys.
Yes said. You are. Thank you for being here. Stay blessed and keep advocating for domestic violence and people in our community, how people should speak up, not stay in marriages that are no longer good for them. Stay blessed and have a great night.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate your support, your presence, and I hope you've benefited from this conversation with Nyabana. Go like her page. She will, I think she'll be more active with her, programs on the page, the Strong Black Woman. And yeah, support Black South Sudanese women, Black women or South Sudanese women, as well as continue to support Junubia. We appreciate you. May God bless you all. If you're in Melbourne, have a good night. If you're anywhere around the world, Africa, anywhere, have a great night or morning. May God bless South Sudan and all South Sudanese. Bye.